Hey guys, how y'all doing? BionicleSaurus here, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the new 2017 CollectA dinosaur and prehistoric animal figures. I'm really excited to look at these. I'm a little bit late on this video. The videos I did for the new Safari stuff for 2017, the new Safari Limited figures, I definitely did more like immediately as the pictures were first released. But it's really not that big of a deal, so without further ado, let's get into this. So first off, we have this beautiful Styracosaurus. I wasn't a big fan of the Mercuryceratops, the one ceratopsian that we got this year from CollectA, but this is a huge comeback. I mean, this looks better than any ceratopsians they've done before. Certainly better than their original Styracosaurus, which was a rather old, poor-looking figure. The coloration is a lot more based on like earth tones and kind of gentle colors than some of their other ceratopsians that are a bit more bright and in your face with the colors. So that's kind of an interesting change. I think I really like it. In general, this figure is just really pleasing to the eye and just really nice looking. Looks very realistic. The pose is very fluid and dynamic. The detail's great. Very accurate as well. We have some quills on the back right over the hips and tail, which is something that I believe pretty much all of the newer ceratopsians from CollectA do have, but nonetheless it's great to see once again. And yes, overall this figure is absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited for it. Next up we have the Enosaurus, which is interesting to see because we also got one of these from, or we're going to be getting one of these from Safari next year, and well, technically that one's actually already out, but you know, it's a 2017 release, even though it's coming out now. None of it makes any sense, but anyway, so it's interesting to see that, like, there's crossover species between CollectA and Safari, and this isn't the only one. I believe there's one or two more as well. But anyway, about the figure itself, I really like this. I don't think it's quite as nice as the Styracosaurus, but the colors are really great. I love lime green. It's probably my favorite color is kind of lime or moss green, and so you can imagine just how much I really like the coloration on this figure. Again, they've gone for slightly more kind of gentle, naturalistic looking colors, a little less bright and in your face as some of their older ceratopsian figures. Or not older, but just, you know, from a couple years back, like the Medusaceratops I have has a lot more, like, it has, like, lots of bright oranges and things. And I think it's nice that they're backing off a little with the colors, since, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think bright colored dinosaurs are fine in moderation, but, like, they went pretty far and got pretty outlandish with some of their figures at times, and it seems like they're getting a little bit more of a grasp on it now. But yeah, in general, another great ceratopsian figure. Not too much unique to say about it, but it looks awesome. Next up we have, and I really don't know if I'm actually pronouncing this correctly, the Gigant Spinosaurus. Gigant Spinosaurus, Gigant Spinosaurus, I have no idea. But it's a really freakazoidal looking dude. It's a stegosaur, which is awesome to see. We haven't really gotten like a good stegosaur figure from any companies in like a few years, it seems like. I can't even really remember the last one we got. I guess it would have been like maybe the Schleichkentrosaurus. That was probably the last like really nice looking one, but this one looks fantastic. Love the coloration. Once again, they're just knocking the colors out of the park on all these figures. And in general, this is just a really accurate representation of Gigant Spinosaurus. Again, I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but great to see a new stegosaur, and this one just looks fantastic. Very weird and outlandish, but very cool and close to the real animal. So the next one we have is, wait a second, didn't we get this last year? Well, we did. It's another Dinosaurus, and this time it is deluxe. This figure makes me wish that I didn't get the normal, non-deluxe, non-140 scale version of Dinosaurus that came out this year. It really does, because while that is a great figure, and I will be posting a review for it, hopefully sometime soon, my biggest complaint is that, I mean, one of the weirdest, most crazy things about this dinosaur, and that's, I mean, it's really saying something because there's so much that is weird and crazy and amazing about it, but one of the most incredible things is the size. It's a huge ornithomimosaur. I mean, it was like upwards of 40 feet, I think, and so to not have a deluxe version was a bit disappointing. I kind of wish that they would have done this one deluxe this year and made a non-deluxe Baishan Long. That might have been a better call, maybe. But nonetheless, I'm definitely getting this figure because I'm so excited that we're getting a big Dinosaurus, because, you know, Safari's isn't going to be that big. I mean, it might be a little larger than CollectA's non-deluxe one, but it's not going to be as big as this guy, so I'm really excited to have a big Dinosaurus in my collection. Other than that, it looks exactly the same as the other CollectA Dinosaurus. I mean, even the pose and everything is like really similar. They barely changed it, which is kind of cool. It's like, it's just the same figure, just bigger, which is kind of fun. Next up, we have the Kronosaurus. This is the other crossover species I was talking about, because Safari Limited also came out with one, and I will say right now, despite how amazing so many of CollectA's marine animals tend to be, I like Safari Limited's new Kronosaurus better than this one. I really do. I think that one's just a nicer looking figure. It's got a more interesting color scheme going on, and it's just, the pose and everything is just a little more dynamic than this. But nonetheless, they did a great job with this figure. We got kind of a little fluke thing on the end of the tail. I'm not sure if we have any, like, evidence of that or any soft tissues preserved on Plesiosaurus to suggest that that was actually there, but it's a nice little feature. This is a deluxe model, so it'll be pretty large and have an articulated jaw, which is really neat. And in general, it kind of reminds me of the really, really old Schleich Kronosaurus. You can go look it up on the Dinosaur Toy blog if you want. You can probably find just images even if you just go to Google, although it's a pretty old, obscure figure, so you might have to look a little bit, but like, it kind of reminds me of that, just the color and the aesthetic, but way, way better. And here we have the Regaloceratops, which makes me so excited because this is one of my favorite ceratopsians ever. I just, that little crown of just kind of horn scoop things that on the side of the frill, I don't know what you'd call those exactly. Oh, good lord, I'm totally blanking on the correct terminology, but oh, this figure looks amazing. It almost has like a Native American war paint thing going with the colors on the frill, which looks really, really cool. And the pose isn't as dynamic or as interesting as the Styracosaurus or the Enosaurus. It's kind of just standing there and maybe grazing rather than walking around, but oh, who cares? The colors and everything and just the sculpt looks amazing, and what a great ceratopsian to see in toy form. Now here we have something that I am so hyped for. We have a Basilosaurus. From the first time as a little kid that I watched Walking with Prehistoric Beasts and saw the giant carnivorous whale Basilosaurus, I was in love with this creature. I knew it was going to go down as one of my favorite non-dinosaur prehistoric animals. I mean, it's nuts. It's a huge, weird, serpentine-looking whale that eats the crap out of other whales. I mean, it's amazing. It's a crazy, crazy animal. And to finally have it in toy form and done so beautifully really excites me. Next up, we have an ichthyosaur, Excalibosaurus, I think is how you say it. It's really neat. Another obscure ichthyosaur to go along with the one that's giving birth. I completely forgot the name of what genus that figure represents. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. But this one looks great. I really love the coloration. The black on top and the white on bottom. Really cool, classic marine animal coloration. Very simple, but very effective. All in all, there's nothing like crazy about this figure, but it's just really, really nice looking, I think. Next up, we have this prehistoric marine life tube thing. It's kind of neat that they're doing tubes. I didn't even realize that their miniature stuff came in tubes like Safari's miniature stuff. I just thought it came in like, I don't know, a different type of packaging. So the fact that it's an actual tube is fun. And other than that, we have so many weird creatures here. The Diplomacerus and the I can't read half of these, the text is way too small. Anyway, but we have Plesiosaurus and Dunkleosteus. I love seeing Ledzichthyes here. That's a really cool marine animal. That's one of my favorite prehistoric fishes. We have Archelon, which is really cool, the giant turtle, and also Xiphactinus, which is such a badass Cretaceous fish. So lots of really, really cool, obscure genre are represented here, and that's really great to see. Next up, we have what I have always called the Uintatherium, but it might be more like the Uintatherium or the Uintatherium. I don't know, but what I do know is that, like, this is pretty kind of iconic Cenozoic prehistoric creature. Like, I don't know, for me, I've known about this for a long time, this particular genus, and always thought it was a cool looking animal, and it's neat to see that, like, a good company is finally making a good figure of it. And this one looks really awesome. It's so just... I have no idea what this thing is even related to. I don't know that much about prehistoric mammals, but, like, it looks really, really neat and just gorgeous. I mean, it's just such a cool looking creature. Cannot wait to pick this one up. Definitely, I will definitely be getting it. And finally, we have the Supreme class, or is it even called class? I guess just the Supreme Dimorphodon. Wow, I am just blown away. I'm pretty sure this is a Supreme-sized figure, like their, what was it, the Quadraco, or however you say it, was the other one, I think. Giant pterosaurs, I'm all for it. This thing, I can't wait. I believe it will have a movable jaw and all that, and it's going to be huge. And that's really, really awesome. And because Dimorphodon is, like, so small, this thing might be kind of reasonably close to life size. I don't know. I might be totally off. We don't really know how big it is exactly yet, but that would be pretty cool. And in general, this figure just looks great. It's in a standing pose, which is neat. We've gotten so many standing pterosaurs from CollectA. It's great to see that they are still keeping that up because they do a great, just fantastic job with it. And all in all, that just... it's a beautiful looking figure. I cannot wait to maybe get this one. I don't know how expensive it's going to be. I might pass on it. I don't know how much space it would take up on my shelf and stuff like that, so we'll have to see, but hopefully I will be picking this figure up, but it kind of depends on the other circumstances. So anyway, that is it for the new 2017 CollectA Dinosaur and Prehistoric Animal figures. I am just so excited and hyped for all these. It's not exciting me as much as the new Safari Limited stuff. Safari really just went all out this year, and CollectA kind of just, you know, they definitely didn't go all out. They're just consistent and doing good, but, like, they didn't just bring us tons of crazy stuff. Like, Safari really upped their game. This seems like not a downgrade from, like, this year's dinosaurs from CollectA, but just, you know, they're staying even. They didn't, like, go crazy with the figures this year. They just kind of kept it good, but not insane. But nonetheless, they all look great. Not a single weak figure in this whole lineup. Thank you for watching, and BionicleSaurus signing out.